Hello coloring friends, this is the second part of my adult coloring books collection. I divided all my books into some kind of categories, and in the first part we stopped at the books based on fairy tales. And now let me continue with the next category, which is coloring books based or inspired by movies, TV shows or series. And sadly, I have only one book in this category, and this is Game of Thrones by HBO. It's quite a large book, and it is based on the TV series, and all the characters are taken from those series. And can't say that I like all the illustrations here, but definitely I like this type of portraits, and which I don't like this type of landscapes. They're quite big, and yeah, something that I'm not eager to color. But these portraits are really nice, and I've done only one double spread here at the end, and this is one of my worst works, I believe. I tried watercolors here, and the illustrations itself didn't inspire me. I don't like it, and so that's the result. Something ugly. But I hope I will color something more interesting for me in this book. Maybe Tyrion portrait. Okay, now the next category is grayscale coloring books. Again, I don't have much for this category, only two books. One of them is this, Ladies of Nature by Alina Lazareva. It's still untouched, this book, though I do love these illustrations. Interesting topic, I find it interesting and beautiful, yes. But grayscale, it's some pictures, like for example this one, it's really heavy grayscale, and I kind of doubtful and maybe scared a little bit, but I should start this book. Really beautiful. Another one is by Bennett Klein, Color My Sketchbook, and I have 26 part, I believe, mythic. Somehow this one didn't scare me, maybe because of less grayscale in this one. I colored quite a few illustrations here, and I think it would be nice to finish this book too one day, though some pictures are creepy. Yeah, but still it's fascinating for me. So the next category is color by number coloring books, and I have only one because it's not really my thing. I bought this one, Mandalas color by number, just to try, and I did only 2 pictures here, and I realized it's not for me, because for me choosing colors is part of the fun of coloring, and when the colors are chosen for me, then this part is lost and I feel kind of bored. Of course I can color with whatever colors I decide, ignoring these numbers. Yeah, maybe I should do like that. But then the book loses its meaning, you know. Anyway, I will think something of it. Then the next category, books that were meant for kids, but I got them for myself. I have a few of such type of books, and the first two are this by Anne Kronheimer, the fairy coloring book and the princess coloring book. These are definitely meant for kids, but nevertheless I do love these illustrations, and it doesn't bother me that they were meant for kids. In this one, did I color something? No, I thought that I have started this book, but it seems that I haven't. Oh. This one I definitely have started, and I even did more than one picture. I did this kind of Indian princess, and another one, this one. As you can see, very lovely book and interesting pictures, lovely girls, and not only girls. The next one is an Indian coloring book, and it's not actually coloring book, though it's written coloring book, but it's like notebook maybe, because there are some lines that you can write something on it, and it is dedicated to Hindu god Ganesha, and there are some other characters in this one. I thought it's rather cute, and so I've got it, but haven't colored anything. And this one, so again, it's for now it stays like collection piece. Look at this, very cute. Then I have these two coloring books that I've got in Belarus. They are also meant for kids. It's written for school age kids, but I wouldn't say the illustrations in this book are easy to color, you know, like for kids. Like for example, this one or this one. But yeah, and the book was actually meant for school age kids. And this one for girls, and this one for boys. Same illustrator. Of course, I like the first one better, but in this one too there are a few nice pictures that I would love to color, like this one for example. Then the next book, again from Belarus, it's called The Big Book of Coloring for Girls, and some illustrations here like these ones definitely meant for kids. Nevertheless, they are cute, and I can color them too if I'm in the mood, but mostly I bought because of this type of pictures, like princesses. Yeah, this one very nice. Yeah, this type of pictures I really love, but I haven't started coloring in it yet. And the last book in this category is Anya and Her Wings, and this one was actually gifted to me by my friend. She wrote the story, and her brother illustrated the book, and then they made a coloring book based on that story. It's really cute, and there's some activity for kids, some tasks that kids are supposed to do, and I've colored these a pretty picture with Anya and cat. So to the next category, and this is books depicting my favorite pets, and these are cats, of course. And the first one that I'm going to show is this Korean coloring book, Cat Coloring Therapy by Grace J. I have colored, I believe, 2 illustrations in this one. This one I colored last year for Christmas, obviously. And really very lovely, cute pictures and depicting cats in different situations. And you can find pictures for different seasons: Halloween, Christmas, summer, spring. Really love this one. Really love this book, and sadly I don't color in it often, at least not as often as I would like to. And where's the second picture? Yeah, this one. Then I have this Million Cats by Lulu Mayo, and this is the only book by Lulu Mayo that I have. I have colored quite a lot of pictures in this one, but still it's far from be close to ending to complete this book. Creative Cats by Marjorie Sarnat, one of my first coloring books as well. Again, one of my first illustrations in this book. I didn't have white gel pen then, and I tried to cover all these black lines with acrylic. It was heck of a work, but doesn't look that bad. Here I used only purple and rose colored pencils. Here I used aqua markers, really very bright result. And aqua markers work very nice in this book. Then a Russian edition coloring book, Cat Therapy by Yanina Mirunova. It's like Zen Doodle type book, but it's cats. And one of my first coloring books, this one. I did quite a few illustrations in this one. Really love this one, how it turned out. And I think there is, yeah, circus cats. Then I have Coloring Heaven collection cats. I completed one page in this issue, but I keep it separately in a file. Very cute cats, very beautiful, by different artists. But as I said, I completed only one page in this one. Really like this one. This one, his face expression. Then Relax with Art Holiday Special. I believe it was kind of magazine as well. Colorful cats. It's a bit yeah, doodly style again, but some illustrations are nice, and it's nice to have a cat coloring book in my collection. So the next category is celebrity coloring books, and in this category would go books depicting some celebrity or depicting pictures based on famous painters like Alphonse Mucha or Pablo Picasso. But sadly, so far I have only one book in this category, and this is Jason Momoa by Maurizio Campidelli, but I want Keanu Reeves one too. I will definitely have it, hopefully soon. So this is Crush plus Color series, and of course it is dedicated to Jason Momoa, the guy in different situations doing different things, and it's really a nice book. Not because of Jason Momoa only, but really I really love the style and the topic of the pictures. Very interesting. I completed one page. Yeah, here it is. Diving. So the next category is books with portraits. I have quite a lot of this type of books because I like coloring portraits. And the first we have here is Nocturnes by Anastasia Eli Koldereva, and I opened on the only completed page in this book. Marie Antoinette, I call her. Well, I believe everyone knows this book. Amazing artist, amazing illustrations, and I should color more in her books. Really love this one. Yeah, and the second one is again by Anastasia Eli Koldereva, Mysteria this time. And again I finished only one picture in this one. And now she comes with her fourth coloring book. And I have only 2 pictures completed in her 2 books, so but still I would like to have those 2. Then I have Katerina Bubarikina, Etna Spirit coloring book. This one with portraits, but portraits of the girls from around the world in their costumes. Here the picture I've completed, geisha, and that's it. That's the only picture I did in this book, but really love it because that's the topic I like. The next book is Coloring Heaven World of Princesses Special by Fabiana Trere. Again, there's a lot of girls in traditional costumes, and these are portraits. Really love this this issue of Coloring Heaven. I've completed only one picture in this one. Again, I keep it in a separate folder. Really love this one, Mongolian. Haven't seen anyone color this one. Yet another book with portraits of girls in traditional costumes. Yeah, that's what I love. This one by Jason Hamilton. Here I too finished one picture, which is not here. Some portraits are like close-ups, and others like a little bit like this one, not only face. Some are more simple and others like more details. Then I have this one, a Fantastic Beauties by Damita Victoria. A little bit different style, but I love it, and I've got it because of these African girls, because I wanted to color dark skin girls. This one was ruined and then I colored it the second time, same style, but I improved, and of course there is no this white spot, but again I keep it in separate folder. Nice portraits. I love that there's some flowers, some patterns on the background. I think it's used here very much. Then Fine Enchantment by Morgan Fitzsimmons. I also included this book in the portraits categories because these are portraits. Okay, maybe this one not, but mostly there are portraits in this book. I completed several pictures here. What I wanted to color every girl with a different hair color. Like here is greenish, then black, and the third one is with blue. The next one is this Chinese coloring book, and I also decided to include this book in portraits category. Again, different women, girls, not exactly portraits, maybe. But people, definitely. And the last one in this category is Coloring Heaven Timeless Beauties, special by Momo Girl. These are portraits. We all know this artist. Beautiful girls. I've completed one picture from this issue, but keep it not here. Yeah, and the next topic, the next category is my favorite topics books, and my favorite topics mostly are fantasy and mythology. And so now I will show the books for these two topics. I believe they will be mixed, mythology, fantasy, because they are very close, I believe. And the first one is Hidden Paradise by Chris Lopez. Gee, some spots here. Definitely it's a fantasy inspired book, and here you can find different themes like animals and portraits and some castles, maybe even Egypt, some creatures. I completed a few pictures here. Really love this one. So 4 pictures, I believe, I did in this book. Not so bad. The next one, Sirena by Mardel Rubio. Haven't colored in this one for 100 years, but I really love this one. Sometimes a little bit weird looking mermaids, but I like their unusualness, and I did a couple pictures here. I need to color in this one again, and I think the first page, yeah. The next book I have in this category is Dragon Dreams by Morgan Fitzsimmons. But recently I was reorganizing my coloring books, and I tore off a few pages from here that with dragons and girls, and put them in my separate folder, which I call Mother of Dragons. So there you can see all the illustrations here. The next one is Vintage Classic, coloring pages 3 by Tatiana Bogema-Stolova. This one is untouched, though I do love it. Quite interesting style, and some creatures, and I love these mice in medieval costumes. Then I have World of Dragons Special by Anne Stokes, coloring Heaven. Again, I took out a few illustrations from here and put them in that folder with dragons that I have, because I thought I'm not going to finish completely this magazine, because I don't like this type of illustrations, and now I don't want to waste my time on this, and so I want to color only what I want to color, you know. So I decided that I will take out some illustrations and keep them separately, and if I want to color something in this one, then again I will put the finished page in the folder with my completed loose pages. This one is dedicated to unicorns, and this is Russian edition of the Magical Unicorn Society coloring book. A bit childish style. There is some information about different types of unicorns, and I completed this one. I like how this unicorn turn out. Very pretty. Then I have this one, Saga Fire and Water by Chintaka Herat. Mythology, I believe. Mermaids and some creatures. I completed this one, a frozen mermaid in a block of ice. But that's the only picture I finished here. So, and the next book is again Coloring Heaven, Dragons in Nature Special. This one by Anastasia Iliakodareva. I love dragons, so I had to buy this book. I've completed one page from this one, but again it's not here. Another book with dragons, and this one by Juliana Emerson, Dragon's Kingdom, a small size book and with really cute illustrations. This is the one I completed. Because of the small size, the illustrations don't take much time to finish in this book. Really cute one. Yeah, I need to color something else from this book. Then, of course, Fantasia by Nicholas Chandra Vienata. I got the third edition of this book. Again, it was really hard to get, but I managed it and very happy. But strangely enough, I started coloring in this book from the least favorite illustrations. Quite simple, like this one, and like this one, the card, and then I colored these snowflakes and these roses, like, you know, the simplest illustrations and the least exciting. Don't know why I decided to do like this. This one is a little bit more complicated, and this one I really like. Cinderella. The next book is Winged Beauty by 5 different artists. Again, it's a small format book with quite a good paper, and you can find illustrations by Ruth Sanderson in this one, Charles Vess, then Stephanie Lowe, I believe, these ones, then Stephanie Lowe, Corey Godby, and Renee Taylor. I did this one by Renee Taylor and one by Ruth Sanderson. This one. I have quite a lot of books for these two topics, fantasy and mythology, obviously because it's my favorite topics. And this one is a Russian edition coloring book called Mystical Creatures. This one by Dinara Bruma. This one I need to finish. I completely forgot that I started this one and haven't finished. I have shown in the first part one of the Dinara Bruma's books, and as you can see, you can recognize her style, like kind of doodly, and you can't figure out at first what is it drawn here, but when you complete the picture it looks really nice and interesting, like this one. Another Russian edition coloring book, Enchanted World by Ekaterina Yeltuhovskaya. This one was one of my first coloring books, and there's a lot of completed pages in this one. I used a lot of acrylic painters here to cover black lines. So everything looks bright. Another book, this one by Stephanie Law, Shadowscapes. It's really beautiful coloring book, but her style, I'm not sure how to color it. Yeah, I need to try. I completed one page in this one. It was quite some time ago, and I don't really like it. Where is it? Here it is. I think just too much of background, you know, and I just filled it in with one color, and I don't like it. It would be better to do something else with the background, and that's why I don't like it really. But this picture was not one of my favorite in this book. There are a lot of more interesting illustrations here, so I really need to choose one and try to color again, and maybe to get better result. The next one is one of my recent purchases, Mythos by Patrick Alvarez. This is Deities and Creatures of the Filipino Pantheon. Really love this book. I found it quite accidentally on Etsy, and different mythology characters from Filipino stories. Yeah, this one a bit strange. You have to look at it from behind. And I've colored one picture here. Yeah, here it is. So this is the protector of fishermen. The paper is quite smooth, but color pencils work fine on it. I used polychromos and prismas here, and I think prismas work a little bit better than polychromos here. The next one, Fairies 3 by Christine Karen. I've got the line art copy. As always, beautiful illustrations by this artist. And I did only one page. And the last one in this category is this Chinese coloring book. I forgot its name, but it's based on ancient Chinese mythology stories. This here I tried watercolor once again, not quite happy. Interesting characters, interesting kind of stories in these illustrations. I completed, beside that unicorn, I completed this lady and this guy, which I don't like that much now. It was a long time ago when I colored him. Again, I'm not quite happy with the background. Too much yellow, I think. And there were quite thick black lines, which I just covered with white gel pen, and they look like, I don't know, out of place. So, I'm not quite happy with this one. So the next category is unusual coloring books, and I mean unusual in style, or maybe unusual style of the artist, unusual illustrations, unusual topics, something like this. And the first book is this small book, Metamorphosis. It's a Russian edition, but originally it is by Hatchet Heroes Art Therapy. And the artist's name is Amélie Barnatan. And here you can find quite unusual creatures, and like this one, you can look at this one up and upside down, and some quite weird pictures, but I love it and quite interesting. This one lion, right? But when you look this way, you can see some, I don't know, some other creature. I completed a few illustrations in this one. The next two books I included in this category are by Kirby Rosanas, Geomorphia, of course, because his illustrations are really unusual. This one, the one I completed. And the second is Worlds Within Worlds. Of course, you all agree that these are unusual illustrations, and his style is really unusual and unique. Here I completed 2 double spreads and 1 single page with, yeah, this one with the moon. And the last book I included in this category is Dream Weaver by Olivia Whitworth. It's not like weird, or maybe a little bit, but yeah, unusual enough. And the main character is this woman who is sleeping and kind of traveling in her dreams with her cat. I do love this book. The only problem that all the illustrations like double spreads, and the paper, though it's quite thick, but it doesn't take water media, no water-based markers, no watercolors, of course, and it's really hard how to color this with pencils. It will take ages, you know. And so that's the main reason I don't color in this book, though I do love it. I completed this one all with colored pencils. Giotto I used, I remember. And then I did this one. I used, I believe, water-based markers, but then I've got this one. And on this page too, and then I tried to cover all that bleeding through with acrylic paints. Not too much successful, because I believe I chose semi-transparent colors, so at some places I still can see like spots of that bleeding. But it's a beautiful, interesting book. The next category is horror and Halloween themed coloring books. I know some of you really love this topic, but I have only 2 books, and both of them by Alan Robert, This one is The Beauty of Horror, Ghost of Christmas, and really humorous coloring book, but sadly I haven't started it except for the name page. That's it. And this one. And the second I have is his first coloring book, The Beauty of Horror 1. In this one I completed quite a lot of illustration, and this one I changed a little bit because there were, I even don't remember what was drawn here, but something else. Then I covered everything with black gouache, I think, and then I painted these roses, and then I changed their faces a little bit, tried to make this guy look more handsome, so to say. Yeah, I really still love this page. And then I have this one, and this one, and this one. And here I used acrylic a lot, I think. Here we have some sparkle where I used nail polish with sparkles. Then we have this one. And this guy. Yeah, quite a lot is done in this book, but I haven't colored in it for a long time now. The next category is seasonal coloring books. Again, I know some of you have a lot of coloring books like autumn themed, or spring or winter, but I included only 2 books in this category in my collection. This is Christmas to Color by Mary Tanana, obviously dedicated to Christmas. Can't say that it's like too exciting book for me, but I love this picture with nutcrackers mandala type, and it's quite simple doodly style. Yeah, maybe when sometimes I'm in mood for coloring something Christmassy. I do love these peacocks, so I have this book just in case. And the second that I included here is Seasons by Hannah Carlson. There are illustrations dedicated to all 4 seasons. Can't say that I colored much in this book. I don't know, something about me and Hannah Carlson's books. I just don't feel like coloring in them. Just completed a few pictures. I do love these cats. And I did this girl, Winter Queen. And yet another cat. This one, Polar Cat, I call him. And that's it. The next category is ethnic themed coloring books. Some of the matching books I've already shown, so I will show just the remaining ones. This one is a Chinese coloring book, and this is like Chinese opera dedicated. I bought it a long time ago, and this is the latest picture that I did in this book, and compare it with the first one that I did here. Where is it? Somewhere in the start, but I can't find it. Weird. But okay, this one also one of the first ones, and this one I colored later. I can see the difference, improvement in my coloring. Seriously, where's the another picture? Ah, here it is. See, it's very not too bright and kind of simple colored. I don't know how to call that, but I really love this one better. Interesting illustrations, except these ones. These are masks of the Chinese opera, but some are really nice. Another one is a Russian edition coloring book, Slavic Motifs by Inna Lisugurskaya. I did a couple of pages here. Different, I don't know, not stories, but characters from Slavic stories, fairy tales maybe. Nice book. Another one, again Russian edition, and it's very thin coloring book. There's some information and small pictures, and this one is dedicated to gods and spirits of ancient Slavic. Haven't colored anything in this one. The illustrations are kind of sketchy style, simplified. Another one is called Scythian. This is a hard word for me to remember in English. Scythian, yeah. And here we have some ornaments, patterns, and I did a few only. The next one in this category is a Japanese coloring book, but this one is a Russian edition, and it's by Junko Suzuki, Heian Picture Scrolls. Beautiful, beautiful book with pictures drawn in style of that time of Japanese history, with girls and some objects. And sadly again I colored only one double spread, and that was when I got the book. Come on, fungus or what is that? Gee, something happened. And here I used some water aqua markers and Kohinoor watercolor pencils. Not so bad considering that I colored it quite some time ago. Yeah, but that's the only double spread that I did in this book. The next category is fashion, costumes, accessories, something like this. And the first book here is jewelry. Again, this is a Russian edition of a French coloring book by Hatchet Heroes, Art Therapy. And here we have a lot of jewelry. Why I bought this book is because of some portraits, especially ethnic ones, like this one, but I do not color them. what I finished in this book is this page with flowers and jewelry, and that's it. Another one that I included in this category is this Korean, is this Korean coloring book, Princess. There are a lot of women in different costumes and jewelry, and besides there are some accessories here like this one. So and the last one here we have Hannah Carlson jewelry box. Not exactly like fashion and accessories coloring book, but I decided to include it in this category because there are a lot of accessories in this book and the girls are quite bejeweled. Yeah. And I don't feel like coloring in this book, and the only picture that I finished here is this one, and I'm not quite happy with it. I do like how the flowers look, but not the house, I believe. I do love the sky, the flowers, but not the house, and not how it all looks together. So the next category is completely finished coloring books, and I have two so far, only two. And the first one is Africa, a Russian edition coloring book. Obviously it is dedicated to Africa. Quite simple illustrations, but it was fun and relaxing to color in this book, and I'm happy to finish it. And the second one is Giant Mandalas for calm and mindful coloring by Jane Snedden-Pever. On the mandalas, they're quite big, and yeah, it is finished. So the next comes one book that I missed, which was supposed to go into ethnic themed category. It's Celtic Mandalas by Elisa Tenzin Dolma. There are mandalas with some description and recommendations what colors to choose, and I completed only this one and list note, and that's it. So the next category is Flora and Fauna coloring books, and though I'm not a big fan of coloring flora or animals, I do have quite a lot of coloring books in this category, and the first one is coloring book which goes by the name Wonderland Forest, and I don't know the artist. It's a little bit Joanna Basford style coloring book, but with animals. Quite cute, but not quite my topic, and that's why it stays uncolored. Yeah, I finished only this picture here, and that's it. I have another one in same style, and this one is called Marine Life, obviously dedicated to sea life. Again, a little bit Joanna Basford style, and quite nice illustrations, but that's what I did in this book. That's it, I think. I really love these seahorses. The next one is Owls by Marjorie Sarnat. You can say that these owls are quite realistic, but still it will go into this category, Flora and Fauna. A few completed pages in this one. Another one with more realistic pictures is by Creative Haven, Nature Spaces by Patricia Wynne. I did a couple of illustrations in this one. As you can see, more realistic pictures. This one was one of the recent ones. Another one that I included into this category is Lush Life, Organic Worlds to Explore by Doreen Castle. Quite unusual coloring book and quite interesting pictures. A lot of space for creativity with backgrounds, and there are a few examples how you can do it, how to embellish your pages. But I colored only this one. Then Joanna Basford, of course, The World of Flowers. We all know this book. It's beautiful, and I've got it in spite of me not liking coloring flowers that much, but it's a beautiful book, so I wanted to have it. And I did complete it, a few pictures here. And another one by Joanna, of course, Secret Garden. Again, flowers, but some animals here. Or no, it's in another one. Yeah, and Magical Jungle. Here we have a few animals and a lot of leaves and greenery and flowers again. I did a few pages here. And the last of Joanna's books, also in this category, Enchanted Forest. Maybe this one would match to fantasy category better. I don't know. And the last book in this Flora and Fauna category is The Nature Mandala by Cynthia Emerly. Here we can see some animals in each mandala, or some flowers, and sometimes insects even. Quite interesting, not typical mandalas. And so finally comes the books that I didn't put into any category. They're just on their own. And the first is Color the World. I could include this one into ethnic theme, but it's not exactly ethnic themed. Like traveling the world, and there are pictures with some places or with some objects, something like this. The next one is The Star Rain by Polina Guskova. Really nice coloring book, but again I couldn't figure out into what category to put it, so I left it on its own. Here we can find some fantasy and some portraits and zodiacs as well at the end. And then this coloring book, My Heart is Like a Singing Bird. I actually bought it to use in my diary because it kind of same size, and there's some quotes and some patterns that you can use in your diary, and I did use. So it's not exactly like for coloring. The next one is Circus, Just Add Color by Sarah Walsh. Actually, I could include this one into unusual coloring books category because it's unusual and quite unusual illustrations. And finally, we've got my last coloring book, Pirates and Mermaids by J. Silvergreen. Of course, I could include it into Pirates category, but all of the rest of my Pirates coloring books I have in PDF format, so this one is left alone. And besides, there are pirates and mermaids, you know, not just pirates. And there is a lot of patterns and kind of mandalas here, which is not exactly like pirate theme. Yeah, like these ones. Too much for my taste. I would prefer more pirates, not patterns and mandalas. And that was all coloring books. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for staying with me. See you later. Bye.